Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Laura Reines and I have a special guest with me today on this, my very first show. I will have my guest introduce herself.
My name is Cami and I am 10 years old.
And how do we know each other?
I am your daughter.
She's my daughter. Yes. So today, with it being Valentine's Day, I thought it was very appropriate and very fitting to talk a little bit about the holiday and to share some of my thoughts and feelings on it and hopefully open up a dialogue so that you can talk with us as well. So again, sitting in the co-pilot chair is Miss Cami, and so she's going to help me out today.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about first was, and Cami, you can maybe jump in here too. When I was bringing my daughter to school this morning, we were listening to our local radio station, as we typically do every morning. And they had a mother, and we kind of caught the tail end of this, but we had a mother that called in and apparently had decided not to send her daughter to school today on Valentine's Day because she believed that the day had very negative connotations. That Valentine's Day was really just about sexuality and about promiscuity and every other negative itty that you can think of. And so then what the radio host did was they opened it up, of course, for viewers to call in or to text in and to kind of share their opinions. So I know what my opinion is, but I thought it might be interesting for you all to hear the opinion of my daughter because she is about the same age as the woman's daughter that had called in this morning. So I'll just ask you a few questions and you can just answer them and make sure you speak nice and loud so that people can hear you.
Sounds good.
Okay, the first question I want to ask you is, what types of things do you do at your school for Valentine's Day? Like, what did you do today?
Well, today I swapped candy with other people and saw different boxes and, it was nothing flirty or anything.
What types of boxes were you talking about there?
Like sports cars. I made theirs into sports cars.
Oh, so you're talking about Valentine's boxes.
Valentine's boxes.
Okay.
And they said thank you to him and to me, and so it was very, normal.
Was there anything extra mushy, lovey-dovey, or anything that made you feel uncomfortable about it today?
No, nothing.
No? Okay. So what are your reactions to the mom that had her daughter staying home from school today because of Valentine's Day and what she thought that it represented? What are your thoughts? And if as a child or as a young lady, what do you think of that?
I think that that's very not good because she should let her daughter or son explore the world and see more things instead of holding them back.
Right. Well, I happen to agree with you on that. And some of my thoughts are that I believe, first of all, that parents are basically good and that parents generally want the best for their children. I don't think there's a parent out there that gets up in the morning and says, I really want to screw up my child's life, or, I don't want to be a good parent. So I want to preface all my comments by saying that. But having said that, I do think that there is a fine line between sheltering your kids as a way of protection and going overboard, meaning you're protecting them from so much that someday when they do get out in the real world and they see all those things that you've been trying to keep them from seeing and they hear all those things that you've been trying to keep them from hearing, they're not going to know how to handle it. So the philosophy that I have kind of adopted as a mother to 4 children is I want them to be able to be a member of society and to function in the world, but still know that they don't have to do everything that the world might suggest. Now, how do you do that? I don't think there's a perfect science to it by any means. I think one of the greatest things that as parents we can do is just to set a good example for our children, because at the end of the day, regardless of where they've spent the day, our minor children are coming home to us. And so we can be that person, that sounding board, that they can ask questions about things that maybe had happened during the day that they didn't understand. That's our chance as parents to offer correction, to offer instruction, to congratulate them if they made a wise choice or whatever the case may be. The one thing I think is hardest for kids is when parents are hypocritical. For example, a parent says, take good care of yourself, but then that parent has an addiction. And now I'm not making fun of addictions or demeaning anyone by any means, but what I'm saying is the parent is probably coming from the place of saying, look, I've been there, don't even start. It's really hard to become unaddicted once you're addicted. But the child might see that as, well, how come you can do it, but I can't? Or who do you think you are to tell me? So I don't know, kind of closing this and bringing this back to our Valentine's Day topic. Cammie, I'm wondering, what would you tell that little girl if she asked you what Valentine's Day was really like?
I would probably tell her that she's missing out on things that she should be able to explore, and she's gonna really love Valentine's Day someday.
She will. And I think the thing too is it's our job as parents, like I said, to teach our kids and to help them learn how to get through life and how to navigate the different avenues in this world, so that they can grow up to become productive, successful adults who will one day pass those things on to their own children. So that kind of wraps up our initial little introductory show. I do want to encourage you to keep listening because I will be publishing more podcasts, probably on a weekly basis. And the topics will cover anything ranging from parenting to creativity, weight loss, exercise, going back to school, true beauty. So the topics will be greatly varied, so you'll never know what you might get when you tune in that day. I will say, though, that the one common thread would be that each of my podcasts will in some way have to do with self-improvement or really becoming the best person that you can be. So on behalf of me, I would like to thank you for joining. And Cammie, do you have anything that you'd like to say as we close out our cast today?
I would like to say Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Thank you. Very well stated. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to having the opportunity to share with you again in the very near future. Happy Valentine's Day.